not have seen. If you haven't, shout out. She's excellent. Molly White. She runs a blog called Web3 is Going Great. And she is excoriating in all the right ways. And I used the phrase unprecedented levels of fuckery as I talked about the way that, like, you know, crypto is being manipulated right now. And she appreciated that. So my flex for the day is that I posted a video about crypto that Molly White was entertained by. And there we go.
You know, Alex, I sent the show live thinking you were going to tell us a family-friendly story, and my monetization for this video.
It's after dark.
It's after dark. That's right. Goodnow, Revolutionaries. Welcome to Rise Up After Dark. That's right. It is your once weekly DYOR BYOB Let Your Hair Down Rise Up show. We're so excited to be here to answer your crypto questions, to talk through what you can be doing to save time, save money, and save some headache in this wild and wonderful world of cryptocurrency, and also just have a lot of fun connecting with other people like you trying to learn it too. I'm Evan, he's Alex, and tonight we are joined by our friends George and Sam from Uptrade. What's going on, guys? How you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's a pretty exciting podcast we're going to have here, and I think it's after dark for you guys, but I don't know about you. It's 8 a.m. in the morning here where I'm from.
That's right. You're in Bali on vacation, but not really vacation. Sounds like you're working in a getaway.
Yeah, I keep telling myself that. I'm not sure whether to feel relaxed or stressed, but it's somewhere in there. Bali here. We actually, at the moment, I'm in Canggu, but I was in Uluwatu last night in Bali. Pretty much we met up with, coincidentally, a group of about 30 traders in a trading group, and we just had a bit of a fun time, and yeah, just let our hair down like we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sam, you're holding things down in Australia.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that I'm not having the funnest time as George while he's over in Bali with the group of traders. But yeah, 10 a.m. for me over here, nice and early. Yeah, really happy to be on the podcast. So thanks for having us, Evan and Alex.
Absolutely, man. And we always say it's morning somewhere, right?
It is morning somewhere.
And that brings me to my next point. You heard this little sound. And I do want to explain that on this show, not only do we have a beverage and talk about crypto, but we play a little game where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. And every time you hear this sound, it means the person speaking has just gotten a point for doing something awesome, saying something profound, or frankly, because I felt like it. And every time you hear this sound, it means that someone lost a point, and at the end of the night, the person with the most points will win a, as yet to be determined, but certainly fabulous prize. Sound good?
That sounds good.
George has already got 1 point for being in Bali. Sam, you've got 2 points for holding down the fort at home. And Alex, I was going to give you a point for telling a great story, but I'm gumping you because I think you demonetized our video. So let us know what you are drinking, what you are thinking. And Alex, how do you feel about kicking it over to our friends and just telling the folks back home who they are?
Yeah, no, I'm without further ado, I'm excited to hear a little bit about it. I don't think I did any worse than usual, although I will say that you rugged me thinking that we were only little live when in fact we were big live.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the facts.
I feel like you get a gwump for that.
Okay, fine. That's fair.
Don't come for me.
But I'm coming for you. Sam, would you like to go first since you're officially at the office and tell us a little about who you are and what you do? And also, maybe in a second, we can talk about how you came to crypto. But who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Sam. I'm from Uptrade, which is a private referral-based crypto brokerage firm. And what I do there is I'm an account manager. So I get all the fun exercises of meeting new people, seeing where they're at in terms of their crypto investing journey, and then see if we're a good fit for them. And then, look to bring them on board and really tailor our services to suit their needs.
So like a Coinbase, but white glove and very personal.
Coinbase, with the ability to call and contact us, right? Like we've all heard those stories where people are like, just not looked after in a nice sort of way, like I think there are a lot of people out there that like to get on the phone and speak to someone human, someone real, and someone with experience in the industry. So yeah, that's a part of my job. So that's what I do here at Uptrade, and also get to help out with George's sort of workload as well, when he's obviously in Bali having the best time.
Okay, George, what about you, brother?
You're making me feel a little bit on a pedestal at the moment, Sam. But I can assure you, we're all equal here, and we're all here we're here to have a fun time. But I guess, So my official, role would be, the lead broker at Uptrade. So think of it as like a stockbroking firm, but for crypto. It's quite unique. It's not really a thing that has existed in the past, and now we're coming into the space. So. I guess what I simply do is help manage a lot of clients, high net worth clients with their portfolios, giving a lot of research and insights, ensure that they have a safe and secure platform to trade from and to get the best pricing in the market. We give a lot of insights, we get a lot of personalized relationships and getting to know each and every single person that we meet with. That's kind of what we do in a nutshell. I don't want to keep going and boring with all the details.
Well, and what really interested me when we got to talk is, a lot of, I don't know, a lot of services that I see. Let me know what you guys see. Companies doing this are not crypto native. They've got bankers and hedge fund managers and people who are on Wall Street or, sold corn and stuff like that. But you guys, you have, and everybody there, kind of the secret sauce is you're crypto natives.
Yeah.
So tell us more about how you came to crypto, and then what interested you in this. George, you want to go?
Well, I guess my story was back 8 years ago. I first saw the technology of Ethereum and other platforms and thought I was kind of frustrated. It was a really simple story. It's not actually that amazing. It's just I saw that the banks were charging very small fees and learned about fractional reserve banking. And then I'm like, well, this is not really necessary with blockchain, right? Once blockchain came to fruition, I thought all this can be eliminated. I thought there's a lot more power that can come back to the people. So kind of a bit of a libertarian, but technology lover. And I guess from there, just been investing, trading, learning about different blockchains. I'm also an official ambassador of Casper. It's a proof of work project that some people already may or may not are aware of. That was quite a competitive process to become an ambassador because you have to really understand blockchain technology and its value. So we are all crypto natives. So I've been doing it for 8 years, learning about the technology, the investing, the trading. Sam, I think, not sure how long you've been, probably at 5 or so, some years. I know that you have amazing. I've seen some of your trading and your knowledge is really impressive. So yeah, we're all kind of crypto natives, and that's why we do so well. We just genuine people here in the industry. We love what we do, and people really empathize with that. So
yeah. Sam, so you've been in the space for 5 years. How did you come to crypto? What was the intro and what was the light bulb moment for you?
Yeah, so like probably a lot of people out there, you had someone that was always looking in the wrong spots for information, and then they came across crypto and then tried to convince you that it was the next big thing. So I ended up getting my exposure to crypto just buying a little bit of Bitcoin through my older brother, who just wouldn't leave me alone on the topic that I needed to own some. So I bought some Bitcoin then. And then basically when COVID happened, I think that was a massive moment for everyone's attention to kind of focus in on financial markets. And I ended up going down the crypto rabbit hole about Bitcoin and why it exists and why it's important. And then for me, I'm a big believer of like not having things or access to transferring money or the ability to invest like siloed to like the top % of people in the world. Like am a big believer of the fact that, crypto should be for everyone if they choose to go down that path. And so in 2020, I decided to, really just spend night and day and still today to just be involved as much as I can. And then, I think with that as well, the first wave of emotion that you get when I think the prices go up and you invest, you feel like a genius. And then when the prices go down, you have those tough moments as well. So I'm really like grateful and proud that I'm at that stage where I've kind of seen and done it all. And I'm looking to kind of provide value back to people through Uptrade as well. And so I'm still a big believer in it. I was up till 12 a.m. last night just trying to research what was going on with the markets and really just still be involved. But it's a long journey. But really enjoying it. So,
why don't you tell them the real answer, Sam? You were on the dark web. You were buying something.
He was buying Fartcoin.
buying Fartcoin or whatever meme coin's up at the moment. Yeah.
I am. So you touch on one thing that we actually were just talking about this morning, this idea that one of the coolest parts of this tech, one of the reasons that I'm here is just because, you know, for so long you've just heard, you know, that like if you really want to make your money work for you, you're investing it. It's constantly it's doing work in the background. It's not just sitting somewhere. And yet so many of these vehicles have existed outside of the reach of everyday people who don't have thousands of dollars to sit down and get started. And then, you know, enter the idea of fractionalizing investment vehicles, and crypto really, I think, set the stage in a big way for that kind of thing. And now, of course, we have different vehicles to do this with stocks and all that sort of stuff. So it's dude, I'm with you 100%. It's the coolest thing ever that you can take all these things that might have been looked at as being hyper exclusive, you know, rich people's playground kind of a thing, and democratize all of it for anyone to be able to participate, which of course is not without its risks. But
it was best, on its
face, pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're so right. You know, historically, most of the top opportunities are available to the 1%. Now it's like, you know, the 1% have 99% of the opportunity, which is amazing. It's just flipping that whole narrative on its head. And, you know, typically I'm wearing a suit, but, you know, Bali gives some exceptions. So it's kind of what I really love about crypto is kind of the battle of the titans between TradFi and crypto. It's like, how do we make these two worlds work? And, you know, a BlackRock's financial advisor is going to be telling their clients to buy Fartcoin. I mean, you just don't know where this is going to go, you know?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm sure you've got a lot of really interesting stories. And we were talking right before the show. We were backstage, and I was just letting the guys know how the show runs. And one of the things they were saying is, you know, we can't give any financial advice. And I was like, don't worry, we won't ask you to. But you probably will get the question, what should I buy? Yeah. And, you know, Alex, I know you saw this conversation we're just having over here, that the question comes from Espinoza, Chris Espinoza here. He said, I have Bitcoin already, and now that everything is down, I'm really kind of wondering, what should I buy next if I'm an investor? And our friend Cosmic said in the chat, he said, you should build conviction, meaning don't ask people on the internet, get people's feedback and opinions, but the best thing to do right now isn't just to look for something to buy. It's to look for reasons to pay attention to something, see what's solving a problem, see what might be valuable, and there you will find your own answer that could be better than I or anybody on the anybody on the internet could say to you. And I'm curious, you know, what kind of stories you have about. You probably have people calling all the time, every day, that trust you, and I imagine that's a question they ask a lot. Sam, what should I buy? And how do you navigate those kind of conversations?
Yeah, well, we start with the thing that's the immovable object of which is we can't provide financial advice, and we work back from that. Then we go through, in terms of a structure, we go through what our analysts have done reports on, or what they're researching and providing in terms of that information for our clients, and say, listen, we did this last week. This is what we're looking at in terms of things that appeal in terms of longevity or fundamental value that isn't all about the meme coin. When it comes back to an individual level, because again, we want to help them on their crypto journey, it's all about trying to help them understand frameworks to approach this. So you actually touched on something that was really good there, Evan, about having the conviction in doing it yourself. So anecdotally towards myself, because I probably talk on me a little bit more, is that I got to a stage where the best way I felt to be able to like navigate the markets were to develop my own ideas and do my own work, and then benchmark against that with what is out there as well, rather than going to this big YouTuber said this, and then you're kind of not acting on your own sort of best judgment. And so what I do is that I want to be able to sort of accompany that on someone's journey and help them understand that it is tough out there in terms of digesting the information, but you're not alone. And, you know, like, we want to make sure that you have, essentially, we say it here all the time, an army behind you when navigating all of this sort of stuff.
I think the key thing there is, you know, so Uptrade is a private crypto brokerage. What that means at a very high level is you can actually transact from the platform. You can go and you can just buy whatever currency you want. Crypto you want within the platform. You get someone to speak with, like a personalized relationship with a broker, and they're going to have at least a minimum of 7 years or 5 to 7 years of trading and crypto investing experience, which is so important this day and age, given how competitive the market is at the moment. And the key thing there is you're getting a lot of support from the analyst team, the research team that are providing these high-level insights. So when people ask, what do I buy? It's more a matter of reverse engineering the process. So we'll say, well, what's trending at the moment? What are some of the themes? We have about a 5-step qualification process or criteria for analyzing a project. It might be like, for an example, looking at TVL, total value locked, stablecoin liquidity. It might be number of developers, number of dApps, the ecosystem. Is it Sui? Is it Solana? Is it Ethereum, etc.? And so I can actually maybe find it and see if we can get it to you. But what we do is we reverse engineer that process. We say, look, this is what we think is trending. What do you think? And we pose that question back to the end user.
So that was actually where I wanted to take it next. So obviously you touched on the fact that you guys have researchers and you kind of have a process and all this sort of stuff. I'm curious. One of my recent favorite questions to ask people who work in the industry, like, I have what I refer to as like my crypto EDC, my everyday carry. I wake up and I check the same 4 things. And then if I have a few minutes during the day and I want to, have it like, I hear about someone asks me about something I've never heard of, I'm going to go look it up on the same 4 places or whatever. I'm curious, as you guys inform yourselves about these things, questions that you're getting from clients and all this sort of stuff, do you have like a go-to set of tools and resources that inform your personal research? And then, as far as Uptrade is concerned and your researchers are concerned, is that pretty similar? Do they have their own stuff, or is it a strict rule book that you guys follow? I'm curious what that process looks like.
I guess, of course, we use a lot of software and systems to find different projects. The analysts are in about probably 500 different Telegram groups, but also using,
that sounds awful.
They're also, in key groups like Masari, some of the research groups. They're obviously looking at DeFi Llama, all the platform protocols that show how much liquidity is flowing to the ecosystem. I'm kind of I'm in the analyst team, but I know that they go through a lot of data and sources that are sort of top tier in the space to actually get to that level. Our analysts did come from Apollo Crypto. They're like an institutional asset manager. They're like a VC fund where you just provide 50 grand or an amount and they invest it for you. So they were qualifying about 100 VC deals a month. And so the caliber is really high up there. So if somebody does come to us and says, oh, what do you think about this project? We can go away and do some DD on that. And it happens all the time. Most of the time it's a scam.
Yeah. Amen. Yep.
Amen, brother.
That's often how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah, oftentimes it's a scam. Could just be a bumper sticker answer. I have this crypto 8-ball here I like to consult, and it says things like bull run ahead, or Bitcoin fixes this, or best take a pause. But it should just say yeah, it's probably a scam. That would be a fine answer most of the time.
Didn't you find that at like a dinner at a conference?
Yeah, I found it at the Prague conference at Emergence that we were doing with Stellar. And everybody had left the conference, and it was in this like deserted swag room. And I was like, anybody? Buy Bitcoin? And I was like, okay, I'm sold.
You're coming
it's
home
mine
with
now.
me.
So there it is. And also, while I'm giving out dings, I do want to shout out, speaking of conviction, our friend Cosmic said, I sold my minivan to buy the dip. So there's a ding for Cosmic. We have a friend named Amy who was a teacher for a number of years, and she got to know the Solana guys kind of by accident, Anatoly, etc.
Really?
As far as a story about like entering crypto goes, Amy's is one of my all-time favorites.
It's fantastic. And
so
she had learned so much by interacting at such a deep level with the people building protocols, not just Solana, but many apps and pieces of infrastructure on top of it, that when it dipped down to $8, she was like, I have this this vehicle that is a little nicer than I need. What was it, a Lexus or something, a BMW? I don't know what it was, but she was like, I don't need this.
Yep. She
sold it, bought something, a little more economic, and then bought the dip of Sol. And it was a fantastic decision for her.
A bunch of Solana at $8.
Conviction.
Wow.
Would that we all had a story like that. But Amy Street, that's our friend Amy Street. Everybody knows her, loves her. She's wonderful.
That's awesome. Well done, Amy. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That was mass panic. That was
a ding for Amy too.
Yeah, that was not a period of time. I remember that period very well. That was not a period of time where I would have thought people selling their cars, getting into crypto would have been the first option. So well done to her. Wow.
Well, I mean, it's a story that it sounds, great and catchy when you first tell it, but when you really like sit down and think about it, like and try, like I often try to transport myself back because I was there when so I watched it crater all the way down to 8. I definitely did not have the wherewithal to like be convicted in it at that point for any number of reasons. I was in my own way about this stuff, all this kind of stuff, whatever. And going back and just putting yourself in that headspace. We're freshly post FTX. We're at the height of steady lads. Like it's rough out there, right? And there was all this information coming out, all this firsthand reporting. You had BitBoy was stalking Sam in the Bahamas, just like pre all sorts of other incidents that Ben got into. But the times when he was in the parking lot outside Sam's house yelling at his parents, and just to like have put, because it wasn't like a whim where Amy was like got lucky. It was like
it was conviction.
Had built this conviction over a long time, watched it happen and be like, this is the moment. There's no way this isn't the moment. And then to capitalize on it. That's insane. I yearn to hopefully build conviction like that.
Yeah.
That's
kind of like
I agree with that as well.
The story about Rocky, how it sounds quite similar when he sold his dog to afford the script to buy the.
Yes.
That story?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't know he sold his dog.
But he sold a dog.
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone sold his dog to afford all of the expenses that he had to get the script for Rocky 1 like up to where it had been, because he had run into so many roadblocks and so many failures, and then hit it with that movie. Obviously, the movie was a huge success, and then made enough money to track his dog down and go back and find the guy that had sold the dog to and buy his dog back again.
Evan, for someone that was an actor in a former life, or still are, I
listen.
expected you to know that.
Listen, we make fun of Evan all the time for being an actor who's never seen a movie in his life. This guy does not watch TV. He has no clue about anything that's been on TV in the last, despite being in a TV show very recently. He's got no clue.
He's a Johnny Depp. He's a Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp doesn't watch his stuff, so this is it. Evan, there you go.
Listen.
Evan takes it a level up. He doesn't watch anyone's stuff. All right?
I think what we do is not that she needs Amy anymore to buy that minivan, but we should start a funding, a GoFundMe to get that van back.
Yeah, get the van back. Oh man, bring Amy's van back. Okay, so a couple of comments I want to draw your attention to. Way up there says there is a thin line between conviction and degen YOLOing. I would agree. And Cosmic said, the one thing I've learned is you can't borrow someone else's conviction. So I'll ding that again. And I will take this opportunity to say, if you're just joining us, we are live with George and Sam, our friends from Uptrade. If you're watching on TikTok, you can catch their video on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, hey, did you know that video replays of our episodes live on YouTube? Just search the Rise Up Morning Show. This is in the After Dark playlist. And that we stream these live. We're live 4 days a week for the Rise Up Morning Show. It's morning somewhere at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, and Wednesday nights right now, or Thursday morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're live at 7 p.m. Central for Rise Up After Dark, to which you are currently tuned in. If you've got a question for George and Sam, or you've got a question about the crypto markets, let us know. Leave us a comment wherever you're listening. Hello to our friends, especially in the future. We hope you are well and your candles are green. I'm curious to know, since we're telling these stories though, guys, do you have a story of somebody, and it doesn't have to be somebody who, sold their car and bought Solana. I don't think that's very feasible for most people. But I bet, we have people who are parents, who are retirees, who are students, learners at all levels of experience from all around the globe. And it really helps them to see themselves in these stories. I'd be curious to know if you've helped somebody navigate, a tricky spot in their lives, or help them learn something. What do you got, George?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, there was this one particular case with an older lady who's actually in her retirement age, and lives on a lake in Tasmania or Hobart, or some really nice lake, and crypto trading. A lot of people do it, and they get a lot of tax expenses, and they accumulate this tax. They're not really aware of what's going on sometimes. And she came to me from another brokerage, and she wasn't getting the support and love that she needed. We actually ended up talking, and we were discussing, and she actually bought Sui at around, I think it was like 50 cents really early on, because it was just something that we saw as from our analyst research. She rode that up all the way to the local peak we had recently, and somehow coincidentally she sold the top. And the beauty of it is that she had about 150 grand of debt, in crypto debt, that she owed the government. She's a pensioner, right? She's not working. And then what happened was that helped her, that silly position that she sold and she took a lot of reasonable profit on. She then went and paid off a lot of that debt that she had with the Australian tax agent, and even upgraded her kitchen. And that's all she wanted to do. She's got 2 dogs and a family. And that story is just an amazing story, because it's real. You know, the thing is with crypto, you could have $500,000 and it doesn't feel real. It's just a stupid thing sitting on a Phantom wallet or whatever it is. It's like when you put it into the real world and you tell real stories, it's like that's the stuff that we love, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my very favorite thing. It's, of course, painful sometimes, too. Before we got on today, Al, I don't know if you saw it, but I was trying to take a nap, not succeeding, and I was catching up on TikTok comments and messages, and I saw a comment on one of my videos that somebody said something like, I gave, this or that creator, like somebody we watch, some XRP, and he's trading it for me, and I've already made 4 times my money. And I, immediately took my hair down and rubbed my face so I looked presentable. And with my shirt off, I said, hey, man, I just woke up from my nap to tell you that this is a scam, and it's called pig butchering. And I would encourage you to look that term up. And, had to all the time. I probably get dozens of messages a week, maybe, hundreds on like high volume weeks of people who have done this sort of thing. And they're very smart people. They're, skilled in many ways, but they've been taken advantage of by a really sophisticated website, or by somebody impersonating a public figure or creator that they trust.
Yes.
And the signs are so convincing. And I'm curious, do you see a lot of that? Do you get to educate a lot of people and help raise their scam literacy too?
Absolutely. The best thing about it is you can just get on the phone and speak to me or to anyone as their broker. In this case, it'd be myself, and just say, hey, look, I came across this video I watched on YouTube, or this is a trader that's saying send me money. He's going to trade up my account. It's like, well, just send it to me. We can talk about it. And then sometimes they're like, wow, thank you so much. And sometimes they send me the documents. I'm like, geez, even that looks legit for me that's been in the space for 8 years. So I'm like, it's actually, some of these scams are so sophisticated. I've had so many people come to me saying, hey, I lost 400 grand, 300 grand it's so easy to get scammed in crypto. I don't know what it is. There's just too many projects out there.
Yeah, I mean, you run into a lot. I mean, it's new, so it's largely unheard of. You have this constant pushing from usually the people motivated to remove you from your money, to just like, hey, you're going to miss out. Don't sleep on this. Like, don't worry about not understanding. Who cares if you don't have to understand it to make money on it. And all this kind of stuff, which just leads people to getting panicked, feeling like, oh shit, well, I'm not in a great position, right now. And this could be my big chance. And it's this selling this idea of getting rich quick. What's the fastest way that I can do this? And all you have to do is hold up one example, of which there are many, of somebody making a shitload of money with this. And all of a sudden, it's just that your bullshit just has so much sharper teeth, and that's how they just get their hooks into people. And then you fall down the rabbit hole into there, and all of a sudden you're underwater, and it's not going well, and just keep putting more and more and more and more in, and before you know it, you're completely hosed.
And that's something that we do is we talk about, I guess, historical data. We talk about trends. We talk about how do we make sure that if you are going to be proposing an idea, is it safe? Is it secure? Is it in line with your strategy? Some people get carried away with their emotions. They put their IRAs in an AI trading bot and it vanishes. Bringing it back to reality is the most important thing. Being able to speak to someone that is experienced and has the guardrails to make sure that it is a safe and secure investment first. That's why everybody loves Bitcoin, because they feel so comfortable in it. It's when you venture out in the Bitcoin space, that's when it starts to get uncertainty, right?
So in that sense, a good question that came in, which is actually pretty much exactly what I wanted to ask you guys next. So obviously right now it's sketchy at best, right? Like it's quite chaotic, and it can be really, really hard to try to, discern a specific trend or a pattern or anything, because, for lack of a better phrase, we are being heavily manipulated right now in a way that I've personally never seen happen in any market in my lifetime. But, from your guys' perspective, hearing questions from clients and all that sort of stuff, what kind of things are you guys talking about, working with them to help them, stay kind of grounded in
Yeah.
this just time of pure chaos? And you know, I guess
I think
how has that shaped how you're working with them?
the key thing there is drawing parallels to historical data and saying, look, in 2017 cycle 2021, this is a 30% drawdown on Bitcoin, which is pretty in line with prior cycles. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe to you, who's a first-time investor going in, you don't have any context. It's kind of like you're swimming, but you're not sure where you're going. So really draw into the historical, and also like this is the price is down, but I mean, people that have been in the space for as long as we have, guys, that we know that this is the first time ever we're talking about institutions, governments now adopting and acquiring Bitcoin. And this doesn't matter what the price is saying. It's the underlying fundamentals. So nothing has changed. It's just the market showing its emotions. So really, we try to make sure people don't get involved with the emotional side, like max fear and max greed. And that's kind of the problem is you go in and you think this is just like anything else. Oh, I'm going to figure. I mean, you wouldn't go and build a house for the first time yourself. You wouldn't try to go surfing by yourself, or you wouldn't go to a mechanic and try to get your car fixed by yourself, or a lawyer and do your own law advice. So it's the same thing with investing in crypto. You got to speak to someone that is out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get to them. They got to find you. They got to know where to look first. You likened it to swimming and knowing where to go. And Alex, what's our new? It's not just like drinking from a fire hose, trying to learn crypto. It's like somebody pushed you in the river.
Yep.
You know.
With
So
nothing else.
so how do you guys? You mentioned you work by referrals, and you know, full disclosure, that's how I came to know these guys. Is they were kind enough to reach out to us and say, you know, hey. Can we work with you? And I said, well, listen, you know, tell us about what you do. How do you work? And you work by referrals. You know, you do business with people and you ask them to tell people. And I said, okay, well, come on the show because we know a lot of people and you probably will find somebody that you could get referred to. But they just find you. You don't put ads in magazines. You don't put ads in newspapers. You're not screaming from the rooftops. And do you have advice for people who are trying, like us, to reach people with helpful education? You know, I'm always interested in like what's worked for people. And how we can do better to reach people where they are, because it's not crypto. Twitter's not it, you know. No shade to our friends on Twitter. We love you. We're grateful you're here, but we have a bad problem of we're screaming into a void, like you say, Alex. It's an echo chamber.
Yeah,
it feels like.
The problem is there's no standard of information. There's no university degree which says this is the model to value crypto. You can't. Some of them are unvaluable. I mean, you don't know how to value it, right? I mean, traditional investing, you got PE ratio, you got revenue. How do you value an AI agent? Right. So that's the biggest thing. And so we don't want to get caught up in the Twitter sphere and the emotional element and say, oh, XRP is going to the moon. It's like, no. What's actually underneath the hood of this car? What's driving all this success or activity? Is it narrative driven? Is it about the, I'm going to share all those lists of things that our analysts look out for. But that's kind of what we need to digest and then figure out, okay, well, what is interesting about, I want to tell a pretty cool story actually. Since it's after dark, so one of our analysts, I won't mention who, bit of a fun story here, but he at the peak of the market when Trump got inaugurated or just prior, he saw this. What he was doing was he's just a young kid. He's like 23 years old, but he was like, you know what? If I just put one Solana into something that I think is interesting, so he put into this thing that launched an hour ago called Just a Chill Guy. Okay, it was a meme. And obviously, you know, that blew up like wildfire. And he put in at the time it was about $300. I think it ran up all the way to about 1.2 million if he had held it. I think he got out a bit earlier than that. But that was a pretty cool story. That was, I think, be worth mentioning since we're, you know, letting our hair down and we're just talking pretty frankly about things.
Sam, I gotta ask. George said that, and immediately you started to snicker and your lip kind of curled. Was that bright young fellow you?
No, for our audience listening, I snickered because he said 23 years old, I think. And then I sent in the chat, I said, it can't be me, I'm 43. I thought of the joke in my head as he was saying this. So, yeah, full disclaimer to everyone watching, it was or listening, it was not me.
So the summary there is like, yes, we do all the real serious stuff and the real research. We also do the fun stuff too, right? And so it's about getting a bit of a blend of the two, and we do an amazing job. So we help people capture SUI early in the SUI ecosystem. A lot of our clients bought Deepbook about 1 cent, ran to 30 cents, which is the key liquidity aggregator on the SUI ecosystem. And we're humble guys. We don't advertise. Everything's built by long-term relationships or word of mouth. For someone that's had a good experience, who tells another person, and that's kind of how it works, you know.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm just curious, Sam, since you're still been around a long time, but you're newer, comparatively, I'm curious, since George mentioned history, as you look at our space, are there any things that you're, in your 5 years that you're frustrated to see are still here, or that you're hopeful to see in the future, that you're excited about? When you look at the space, and not even talking about like as an investment, should I go buy this? Forget about that. But, what are you looking at and get you excited to see what people are going to build?
Yeah. So for starters, I think, Alex, you touched on a really good point about it being accessible to all. So that's the first thing that gets me quite excited. The second thing is that because the industry has a misalignment on what is deemed valuable, and there are a lot of things out there that are primarily there to extract value, it gives me a lot of confidence to know that there is still an opportunity to have. Not everything is packaged and delivered to you that you need to purchase to be able to then draw down on. Like, there's still lots of opportunity out there. So there's two things that I'm really excited about. One is the level of DeFi. So for people that don't know what DeFi is, it's decentralized finance. The level of that in ecosystems like Ethereum are really exciting to me, because even though it's not been mass attention over the last couple of years, there are a lot of projects out there that are essentially pulling in really smart people to try and solve a lot of the problems around incentivizations and different parties that are coming together to try and build out, a decentralized protocol. The other one, which is a little bit more exciting for me, is probably the innovation on Bitcoin. So things like ordinals, where people are finally inscribing like artwork into the blockchain on Bitcoin. I think that's amazing. Like, I think,
I meant to say ding, but I gave it a rim shot. Sorry.
For me, I just think it's just classic people coming together and just trying to do something. There was never any sort of package deal that you got. It was just someone that said, you know what, if I build out this code base, does that allow us to do something on Bitcoin? And then, what happened was a lot of artists came to Bitcoin. They started inscribing memes. They started inscribing games and artwork. And in the span of 2 years, we went from a couple of hundred inscriptions on Bitcoin to almost 70, 80, maybe 100 million inscriptions. And that's just from people wanting to take things that they like and then pay the money to then inscribe it on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's pretty exciting for me. But that's the sort of stuff, it's like that ethos of why people are here. They want to make it accessible to all. They want to be able to build something out that would last longer than them. And I think that's what gets me excited the most. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an exciting time to see people building. George, what about you? Is there anything you look to as you look to our space and you think that's going to change the game?
Oh, well, the biggest thing for me is I think everything will become tokenized in the near future. And I guess I'm really excited to just not have to go from platform to platform and be like, cool, you want to buy stocks, you can do that in the crypto version, tokenized form. You want to buy property in Uganda, you can do that on the blockchain. So what we call RWA, real world assets, is what I'm most excited about. And I think that we mentioned this at the start of the call, not being able to provide financial advice, that's going to change in the next coming years. There's licensing coming out for crypto, especially in Australia and the US. So eventually you will be able to give financial advice for crypto, those that have the licensing. So the space is going to emerge, it's going to evolve. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all pans out. But I'm just super keen to be able to just get all these access to opportunities and maybe generate income or passive income in ways that we just wouldn't have access to because you're based in a region which is unbanked or is less developed in their infrastructure. So that's what I'm most excited about, those two things. But of course, I'm also interested in like how the stupidity evolves as well. I always
yeah.
There's always a stupid angle to crypto. It kind of makes it a little bit. It kind of reminds you of when classical music met punk rock, and kind of those two worlds collided. It's like people didn't know how to amalgamate these two worlds. It's like this is just humanity. So I'm kind of that's why we love the stupid meme coins sometimes.
Yeah, we love them. We hate them. We try not to get rugged, and we live to fight another day.
We live to fight another day.
Vegas is popular, right? Like there's always going to be appeal in that, but also there's there's fun and beauty in like the simplicity of something that's just like on its face stupid and therefore easy to understand, which was kind of the magic of it in the beginning, right? And of course, you know, we all know how it went. We went from like having 5 or 6 of these things that were kind of silly to just these like expertly orchestrated, you know, completely insider run, you know, manufactured to hose everybody schemes, you know, hiding behind funny pictures. And that's of course sad, but I like to think that it started off as like an innocent, silly, stupid way to day trade attention. You know?
Well, and there's so much potential for that. I am really into this idea of like the poly market at scale. I think CNN is terrified of what's going to happen when some kid at Disney World sees another kid get swallowed by an orca whale and launches Orca Eats Kid token and is the very first to break the story and gets more clicks than they do. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's how news is going to break in the future. I think that's how pop culture is really going to spread. And I don't think all of it's going to be financial, but I think the financial incentive is going to help it to just do the meme thing and multiply in the world and things we haven't seen. Okay, guys, I know you have to get out of here at the top of the hour, so I want to do this. I would love to know how people who are interested in learning more about Uptrade can get in touch with you. If you want to share that resource later, George, don't fret about it. We can throw it in the community, that visual you were talking about, and then get a final thought from both of you before you ride your dogs and your ponies into the sunset. And you don't go anywhere because we've got a whole nother hour of Rise Up After Dark. We want to know your crypto questions. I saw the question about ordinals, Chris. We'll get to that.
Love that.
But guys, tell us, where can we find Uptrade online?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess there may be a link that you were providing as well, Evan, which is a unique Rise Up Morning Show referral link for anyone that wants to learn more. You can go to the uptrade.au website. We're based in Australia, and but we service majority of our clients are actually in the US. And the whole thing is like, you know, we're just normal people, just like you. We're not gonna bite you. Like, feel free to just have a feel and understand what is it we do and the great things that we're up to. If you want to learn more about the brokerage, really, there's a few key things that we do. It's the ability to, and this is such a simple thing, but getting money into the market at the moment, there's a lot of banking aspects and issues. We got very private and discreet banking, so we can get that really easily in and out of the market, anywhere from 10 grand to 10 or 100 million. It doesn't really matter what the amount is. We do a lot of research and analysis. So if you want to get like a portfolio health assessment and you want to see how you're benchmarked against the sector averages or narrative average, if you want to maybe buy, sell, or swap some currency that you can't because it's not available in your region, we offer about over 500 different currencies, and there's a lot more that we do as well. We do offer a very secure and insured custody solution, one of the top in the industry. It's the bee's knees. Helps me sleep at night peacefully, knowing that our funds are safe. Because as you know, everything can go wrong in crypto. But that's it. If you want to sort of learn more, and we're not asking for anything, it's just kind of, hey, if you want to see if we can help you, we'd love to do it because we love what we do.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you for sharing, and I really appreciate you. It was really very nice of you to make a link for our people, and I love the little logo.
I am a big fan.
I think that's super cute, and we'll be sure to share it in the community, and definitely we'll connect people. You know, if it sounds like something you want to try, what I would ask is, because we haven't had a chance to drive through it, that's one of the on our to-do list things, is we'd like to drive through the experience. But if somebody in the audience uses this service, we'd really like you to give us your full and honest feedback. And I'm sure George and Sam feel the same. If you have ideas, questions, 100%. Suggestions, good jokes, words of wisdom for improvement, then let us know, because we want to make sure that everybody is getting the best possible onboarding experience and that more people can find helpful advice and not just somebody trying to sell them something, honestly.
Yeah, it is a white glove experience. The whole onboarding to execution to speaking with someone is always, you're always going to be able to speak with me as an example. We don't work with everyone. We actually have quite a large minimum. It's about 10 grand a trade. There's a reason for that. We want to make sure that we have the resources and time to help the people that need help. And that's kind of the way that we're going to make sure that we can give the love that we need to each and every single person. Even you guys, Evan, Alex, we want to share the love.
You have my love already, brother. And a little bit of my envy too, because man, Bali looks beautiful behind you. I haven't made it there yet, but I want to.
Yeah, definitely come down. Definitely head down. It's such humidity out there that you can see it steaming up from the air conditioning. But
Yeah, I was
I
going to say
haven't
that
been you for not inviting me, by the way, George. You're not forgetting. You're not forgetting.
you're not
Bumping
the
George
you're
for
not
not inviting you. Go ahead.
the first Web3 friend that I've made that has like been doing at least some sort of work in Bali. I know I was trying to remember who I was talking to. A couple. I think there's a relatively significant Web3 presence in Bali. Is that right?
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of nomads, a lot of anon Twitter folk are there that you wouldn't even think of that live there. Obviously, they don't talk about who they are and their names, but yeah, a lot of Web3 conferences here as well in Bali. So definitely a few of the hotspots, Koh Samui, Dubai, Bali, where a lot of these sort of KOLs or people that are out there that kind of moving. Yeah.
Evan, I guess someone could twist our arm and send us to Bali, right?
I was just gonna say we're gonna need that conference list, man. I'm gonna need that fast. And I was telling these guys, one of our co-founders from Faceless Labs, Mahir, is in Melbourne, and we've been saying for a long time we'd like to just go visit. So maybe we'll have to fly by on our way to Bali. Yeah. Grab Mahir, come hang out at the Uptrade offices, and I don't know, go see a kangaroo or something outside the city.
We could do a live
Australia
podcast.
Is, right?
Here as well. Bring the kit, as long as there's not too much on luggage. But yeah, definitely bring it over. We'll get it set
goes
up.
where we go. Absolutely. Yeah. That's okay. It's going to happen. Rise Up Live in Australia. I'm here for it. Okay, you guys, I know you got to ride your dogs and ponies into the sunset. So before you do, I would love to get a final thought from the both of you, or an ask for our audience before you part ways. Sam, would you like to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a question about ordinals? I'd be happy to answer that one.
Sure. I'm glad to have you answer it. The question was, it's a technical question. They wanted to know, can ordinals inscriptions be used to put audio or video onto the Bitcoin blockchain?
Ooh.
And if you don't know the answer, you can tag me in.
Yeah, I'll tag you in, actually, because I don't want to assume here, actually. Yeah.
Tag me in, and I'm giving myself a point for this, that audio and video are both absolutely possible. In fact, there are already music tracks fully inscribed on Bitcoin. There are some short videos and even small Alex playable games inscribed via ordinals. However, the size limits. It's a 4, what is it, megabytes? What's MB? Megabytes per block?
Megabytes. Yeah.
So, it's pretty small. It's a high fee if you're gonna do that whole 4 megabytes.
Yeah.
But some products, they chunk big media into multiple inscriptions and then reassemble it when viewing, like on the back end kind of thing. So if you want to do it, it's possible. But do you have a recommendation for somebody who wants to start playing around with ordinals inscriptions?
Yeah, well, it's a big space. It's a little bit different to NFTs because it's got this whole unique sort of attributes to the blockchain itself. But I would definitely start, obviously, don't rush in to buy things that you feel like would go up in value, because I think there's a lot of actors over there that are trying to sell you that idea. But I would definitely go to onboard.io, which is a website that you can go on and just have a look at by category. So you can look at image, text, JSON files, and you can go to a section called games. I've actually played like Battleships or a version of on an ordinals inscription, which I thought was just revolutionary, because I was like, wow, this is like one of the first Web3 games I've ever played, and it was on Bitcoin. But onboard.io, and then in the categories, you can have a look around and look at things like artwork, games, images, and things like that as well. And it's so vast. So it's not something that you're going to have a one and done, 1 hour, you'll understand it. It's just so many people have come together to put what they like on the chain that it's quite exciting. You can just go around and have a look at what people are doing. Yeah.
Alex, I'm checking out this little demon over here. It looks
like
it's your new PFP, dude.
It caught my eye.
That's very cool. Okay, thank you very much. And George, what about you? Final thought for our audience before you hit your show on the road?
Yeah, I'm going to hit an investing point. I think that there was now a 9-day pause on tariffs that was announced last night. We had a huge pivot.
Unless you're China.
Yeah, unless you're China, exactly. So I think that was a real a news event that didn't get priced in. No one really knew what was going to come out, and so the market's obviously trying to find that event and price it in. I guess we're looking pretty shabby here overall. It's a pretty strong bounce. So I'm just really excited about the tail end of the year. I think we're going to see potentially could be another wave to come as we go into maybe a commodities driven market cycle or a precious metals market cycle. So yeah, just super keen to see how this year ends, and fingers crossed it's fruitful for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much for spending time with us. Before you go, it's not the end of the show. You might get points before the end, but I do want to let you know how the points totals currently stand in last place with 1 Gwump. Sorry about the tariffs on China. 1 ding. Amy's got a ding. Cosmic has 2. I have 1. Alex has 1. Sam and George, you are tied for the lead with 4 dings apiece. So, assuming nothing else changes, let me just congratulate you on at least a very strong lead and possibly an early victory and say thank you for making time for us today.
No,
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, guys. I'm sure this is going to be the first of many, and maybe when maybe we get on Faces Labs and meet with the team there in Melbourne. That's where we're based, right?
Yeah.
So look forward to sharing the research with you guys, the kind of the qualification criteria that we do with you guys, to share it across, and
That'd be cool. Yeah,
And-
that'd be sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll get the Uptrade update or something like that going on when you guys come back. And until then, my friends, be well. The update.
This is a gross misrepresentation.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys soon, okay?
Thanks
Bye
again,
for now.
guys.
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
But not you, because we've got a whole nother hour of Rise Up After Dark. So if you have got a crypto question, then drop it in the comments. Alex, dude, when are we going to Bali?
I know.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It was it was a gaming project that I was that Mac and I were talking to way back in the days before MEXC rugged us with Shades of Sin, and man, I wish I could remember what it was called. It was pretty cool. No. This was just the group that I was talking to that had their whole project was based in Bali. Founder moved there, had been there for a couple years or something, and I just had no clue how big the crypto scene was out there. I was like, oh well, shit. Okay, put it on my list.
Speaking of things that are on our list all the time, something on my list all the time is to have our friend Nill on the show. And tonight my wish has been granted. Nill, brother, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. How are you, my friend?
I couldn't be better. I really couldn't be. So have a nice little day. This is the perfect time for me because it's 5 o'clock my time right now, and you guys are at the late night show. I never get to catch this because it's baby sleep time, but there's a dragon. Lovely. But I'm away from baby for the first time, so I have free time to do whatever I want. It feels crazy, and it's been a super productive week. I'm in an undisclosed location having undisclosed business meetings, but I'm You're
also doing work on site somewhere beautiful. I may or may not have seen a picture or two on Twitter and won't dox you, but it looks like you're having a good time, productive.
Yeah.
I almost said expiring, but maybe sweaty. I meant inspiring and exciting.
Perspiring for sure. That's where we are. There's a lot of perspiration. There's some Olympics that went on, so some competition, friendly competition. But no, it's just been. I don't know. I don't come on here all the time and shill what I do for a living, right? That's not my goal. I want to educate. I want to connect with people. But right now, there is really something special that we're working on at Polygon, and I'm just really excited for this year.
Okay, well then, make an exception for us and tell us a little bit about.
You've earned the right to shill a little bit, so.
Yeah, and especially on our show, because people might not know what you do, and so we want to give some context for your appearance, so they don't just think you're our, some guy who paid us $20 to get on the stream.
Yeah, with a weird shirt on, right? I got the company logos all over here, so we're hanging out.
Well, it's okay, Nill.
Right, Alex got the memo and wore the shirt on.
I've got you today.
Oh my God, Lord. Okay, yeah. So we got the soccer jersey on over here, the etched one over there. No, so if anybody doesn't know me, my name is Nill. I work full time in the cryptocurrency space, mostly on the blockchain side. So I've worked for a couple different teams. They're innovating in the ecosystem. I've been over here on TikTok for 3-4 months, and it's just been a very welcome place for me to have conversations grow, educate others and learn from other people too. So obviously, thank you both for having me on for a quick chat. But I work full time at Polygon Labs, right? So my entire goal with what I can accomplish with our team and our vision is very unique. It's very kind of OG L2 in the space. My current role is as an ecosystem success lead and growth lead. So what I do is essentially make sure that our ecosystem grows effectively by providing them with the right resources. So teams like Polymarket, Courtyard, individuals that are very innovative in the space or have a unique use case, making sure that all their setup from a technical perspective works well, marketing aspects, grants, basically all the arms that we have as a blockchain ecosystem. And that's the same for a lot of blockchains out here. But together, we're doing some very unique things, a lot of focus on payment direction, RWAs, unique ways that we can approach this market and kind of just establish ourselves as like the differentiation between just payments and payment use cases, right? And some very unique messaging that we're going to be sending out soon that's going to allow that to kind of, for everyone to understand and have another why here out here in the blockchain. So it's kind of what we're working on right now. And there's other stuff, but it's like the next few months. I'm so excited.
Man, I am excited for you. I love the gifts rolling in on TikTok. And I do have to say, go ahead.
No, I just see a lot of the homies down there, like Jay Heat and Glossary and like all the people that come through, Mike. Like they just like, it's such, I love this app, and you all have coached me so well through this app that I feel like I've found a new home, and it's so like, it's so fulfilling. It's so good. It feels like there's another like levels to this, right? And a personal relationship you can build that I haven't had the opportunity to build on Twitter in a long time, you know? So it's cool. It's really cool. See everyone come through.
Web3 Glossary said, say yeehaw, Nill.
sorry. He always, I don't know. I interact with the gifts because it's funny as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I just have to say, for anybody who's watching in the future on YouTube, or anybody who's listening to the podcast, first of all, welcome. So glad you're tuning in from the future. And second of all, you've got to join us live sometime, because it's just it's a whole different vibe here. And everybody loves you. Mike on YouTube says, Nill's vibe is great and also informative. Shout out. We're big fans. So thank you for coming on. Is there a particular update that you wanted to give us? Do you have a question? Do you have an inside alpha for us? Did you hear about Paul Atkins?
I heard about a lot of different things. I've honestly been almost knocked away from. I haven't heard about Paul Atkins. I need an update there. So
okay, the breaking news is that Paul Atkins has officially been confirmed as the new head of the SEC.
Wow.
The news was broken right here by your mom down in the comments below. So that's a ding for your mom, and maybe another ding just for their username, because I love it. And
is that like within this hour? Like that just happened?
Yeah, it looks like Senator Loomis
I'm not that far behind.
Just tweeted it about an hour ago. And for those who don't know, he's a previous head of the SEC. He was a former mentor to Commissioner Peirce, and he is an OG in Web3. He's on the board at Securitize, which makes what BlackRock does through Ondo and the Biddle Fund and other places possible. He really has an informed opinion about regulating and about the technology that we're trying to build. So that's the news there.
I will say,
share it.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Jeez.
I'm excited, but I have a little bit of PTSD about this, because Evan, you and I were both there when Gary was sworn in.
I know.
And all I knew about Gary, old Gary,
you were standing right next to him,
dude. All I knew at the time was that I had learned so much from this dude's MIT class. And I had posted it. The first video I ever put on TikTok that got over 100,000 views was talking about Gary Gensler's MIT course, which was, and still is, by the way, Gary, I see you. And knowing what you did, the course is still great. Just like where you could find, it's free. And spoiler alert, if you didn't know, you can take most of the classes that MIT has hosted completely for free on YouTube. And I don't know why there's not like advertisements being run for MIT OpenCourseWare on a regular basis, because it's insane that shit exists. But that's one of them. So we were excited about that. And I talked about how excited I was. And then he spent the next 4 years rugging me over and over and over again. And you know what? Paul, don't break my heart, Paul. Okay? Please, Paul. But no, I am
to win so many over.
I am excited to hopefully get a chance to talk to now Chair Atkins this year. Hopefully, when we get up to DC to speak to our friend of the show, Commissioner Hester Peirce again. Hoping to get to snag a few more commissioners and maybe a chair or two. We'll see what happens.
That's the dream, man. So what's the alpha from where you are, Nill? What are you learning about, thinking about?
Yeah, so like there's a couple of takeaways like from the week when you gather as like a team, right? As far as like connecting with each other, and like we all work in this very remote world, and we all trust each other, just like get our shit done in one side of the world, right? And that's okay. Like we have people from all over at Polygon Labs, right? But when you're like together and you get to feel everyone's energy and you get to understand their why more, like hear their story, and then when the why comes down to why we build in Web3, Like that's such a unique feeling to connect and vibe with people on that. Like us three vibe on that level, right? Like that's what it is, right? And so to come here, and it's my first like collective group like hangout session, right? Like never been with a full company before, and it's just like so inspiring that is like matching energy here. So like that's like the first takeaway from like any time you have the top, and that's why IRL events are so important. That's why we all love those, because the energy it's like this harnessing of energy in this very unique way that we like to expose ourselves to something that nobody else really cares about, right? Like all of us care about it, but like a lot of people don't. So that's great. But like the takeaways is obviously the focuses that we have moving forward with ensuring that we're uniquely positioning ourselves as our separate brands, right? And by brands, there's currently 2 brands established, being Polygon and what Polygon means, and the ag layer. So directions for those things are being like directly lined out. We're talking about like insane amounts of connectivity. And as far as like how we're going to interoperate in the future, we're talking about like 2-second bridge times between any blockchain in existence. Like that is the revolution that we're bringing. And that is the layer that we're trying to accomplish, right? The frictionless freedom to interop and have a trustless peer-to-peer system. It's so unique. And it's just like, when you put all that energy together and everyone's got that focus, and that's our clear vision now, the year looks very interesting for us. So I'm just really excited about where we're going. I'm super thankful for like these opportunities that we get to connect and like have these kind of conversations. Like you all know where we stand with you all. And it's just like it's a great energy that we're all bringing here. And I feel while all this chaos is happening on the market side, I don't care. I don't care. Like I open up the lies and I get a little fear and a little bit this and all that. And that's approachable. We can talk about that. I want you to deal with that. It's not about that. Like we're building the future of the fucking internet, ladies and gentlemen. Like how cool is that? So that's where I'm at today.
Nill, we had a really good follow-up question in the audience that you've started to answer, but I just wanted to give you the chance to answer it explicitly. What makes Polygon, what makes the ag layer Web3? What is it about this interoperable future that is Web3?
Yeah, so like I talk about this, my favorite topic to talk about in Web3 is the Web3 why. Like why did all this get started? And if you trace it all the way back to like decentralization and the goals of user-focused like ownership and all the ideals, right? And then you hear from like, right, you know, that's just like the Bitcoin white paper, but you go to Vitalik and you hear him talk and it's like the entire purpose was to connect people uniquely and give them opportunity, right? Like unlock the doors that have been locked. And the fact that now it's like all of us riding that ship together, the ones that really believe that, right? Like that's like the teams that are working in a hard, unique way, like your Solanas and like everyone in on their own lane, right? But our specific lane, what makes us unique is that we've done this before. POS is undefeated. People just use it because it literally works and it's worked the longest. And that is going to have a lot of waves into the direction that we take things as far as the ag layer, because people have that innate trust with how we are going to deliver when we are all here working in unison. So it's why is it Web3? It's because it fulfills the ultimate goal of Web3, connecting all these ecosystems together to share in the opportunity that is what Web3 provides, which is like raising all the tides of all the ships up, right? Mess that up, but I'm so tired. I've been working so hard. I'm just juiced, right? This is all like conference energy. You come off with all that energy and it's like one more day to go, but it feels good, honestly.
So just because you're one of the reasons that we get along so well, because you're one of the people who I think actually you probably started one of the first conversations we ever had with this. You have mentioned, you know, one of the things you're interested in working on is you know, picking up the ball that you feel like you guys dropped at one point. What did you mean by that? And you know, what are you guys working on that's you know, that makes you feel like you're putting things back to kind of the way that you wish that they had been?
Yeah, it's like there's so many different ways. Like when you prioritize in Web3, right? Like as far as like what's your overarching goal, you're dealing with like month-long cycles, narrative-wise, right? And so there's this unfortunate thing that you have to do as a Web3 team where it's like chasing this it's like the golden snitch. That's what Web3 is, right? Like you're flying your broom, you're just like reaching for it and you might never catch it, but there's always something you're trying to follow. And so overall, we've had so many different angles, right? Initially, it was like the enterprise angle in that side. Solomon just cooking over here. You're the homie, Solomon, thank you. But it was the enterprise angle, right? It was your Starbuckses and DraftKings and like, you know, the bigger moves, right? Your Nikes and your Reddits and all those things. And do those things still have value? Absolutely. But it just was from an approach of where we were, and there were so many different narratives going on at once that it wasn't like, it just wasn't sustainable where the market was, right? Those teams needed more needed more, I don't even know resources is the wrong word, but like understanding, we all need more understanding of how long that their tail was in a market like this. It takes forever to get to that place. But that taught us that it needs to be on a hyper-focused area. And that's why we have these so many different brands that we can lean on to make sure that all these areas of Web3 are fulfilled. Like POS, you all gonna know POS for two things for the next like year and a half, 2 years.
Nick, we've said it a couple of times, but I don't know that we've defined it.
Sorry.
Will you define it for us clearly?
What was that?
Can you define? You keep saying POS.
Oh, Polygon POS. Yeah. So like just our initial layer 2 chain, right? Everything that was launched as far as like back in 19, like everything. And that's like, it was establishing what a layer 2 was. So obviously like it serves a purpose and it served it well. So like that is our narrative for where we want to take things because we've owned that for a long time. 40% of stablecoin activity happens on Polygon POS. All these like opportunities in the DeFi space uniquely placed to make sure that we have long-term opportunities there to like, to incentivize our people for working hard and staying committed to what we do at Polygon, right? That's the direction we take DeFi in. And then the ag layer marries it all together, right? So it kind of just is uniquely approaching from those 3 areas. And that's kind of where we kind of see things looking for all those different areas for our team.
Beautiful. I have a couple questions that come from the chat here that I think will be really fun to explore. The first is Nick is prompting us to define Web3, and I'd like to go around and take a crack at it in order to answer a question that we got from a user here who said, is the future internet still user-friendly, especially for some of us older folks who use it now but still struggle? And I just want to say before we answer this question that, yeah, I think the goal is to make the future internet even more user-friendly than the internet now, because the internet now is not very user-friendly, and not just in terms of how easy it is to get on your phone or computer and find the information you want, but in terms of your ability to actually own the information that matters to you, whether that's your money, your identity, parts of your story, your future, passing on digital things to people who care about you, who need to know it. And I don't know about you guys, but I always like to step back and say it's helpful to remember that Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, Web 5, Web whatever, we're talking about the internet. We're talking about this technological other world that is digital, that connects people the way infrastructure in the physical world connects people, the way my driveway connects me to a highway that can take me to the airport that'll lead me to your door. And I might take an Uber there too, and I might call for fast food on the way and do all these things that help me align my values, live my life, and coordinate at scale with other people, but just digital. That's the internet. It happens in a new space that isn't physical. And Web3 is the evolution of that internet that will make it possible for users like us, not just the big companies who've kind of hosted the internet until now, to benefit the most from what is shared and to truly own the information. Not just having 1 million subscriptions for content, but truly owning it. Not just having a bank that holds your money and takes the biggest cut of the interest that it earns, but having the power to do those things yourself and having it be simpler. You know, not just computers, not just phones, maybe better interfaces too, but a technology that is you-centric. I want to encourage that person, and I'd love for you guys to give any more color in terms of defining Web3 or encouraging somebody who feels like the internet now is not very user-friendly, but wants to learn. What would you say to that person?
Alex, you want it?
I was just going to say I see a couple comments, and I think Nick has a point. So Nick in the chat is just saying, about, as we look at, we talk about the idea of decentralization or Web3 being on a spectrum, meaning that it's possible to be, semi in that direction, fully, things that are fully on chain, things that are more centralized, all that sort of stuff. I firmly believe, as I've gone through I've run the full gambit of, of emotion wrestling with this idea of the spectrum of decentralization and what Web3 means. And what I've come to realize more than anything is that if you focus too hard on the perfect eventuality, the perfect utopia of fully decentralized everything, on-chain storage for all data, and you leave people behind as you walk there and refuse to, give an inch, too many people are just not going to be able to participate. You have to recognize when you're talking about something that is truly this technical, that you have to meet the people who you want to bring to that point where they are. And it's okay if not everyone wants to walk the entire length of that. The thing that I care about more than something being fully on chain or something being 100% as decentralized as humanly possible with no room for any other interpretation or anything is just the idea that if someone is aware and okay with making a decision to centralize something for the sake of this, that, or the other thing, whatever, that's completely fine. Like what I care about with regard to Web3 more than something being technically perfect is that all of us get some sort of choice and power to make a decision with what we do with our data, what we're allowed to own, what we give up ownership of purposefully, and just like which parts you get to care about. You don't have to care about all of it. I don't need you to play every Web3 game with 100% of everything on chain. I'm okay with centralizing things on some server somewhere. I'm okay with not everything being stored 100% on IPFS or some other decentralized storage solution or whatever. And we can argue about who's the best or whatever. But when it comes to like defining Web3, that's really it. I want transparency and choice. And I really, truly almost don't even care about the rest of it.
I think Nick is trolling you. He said, I'm cool with using regular AWS then.
I know exactly. So I took it, Nick, because it was the setup to something I care very deeply about, but I know exactly what you're doing. I've talked to you enough to know what you're fishing for. So don't you worry. It didn't go over my head. I just, it was a perfect setup for something I'm extremely passionate about.
Nill, what about you? Do you have words of wisdom, good jokes for somebody who's feeling a little like they're struggling to use Web 2 and worried about the future internet?
Yeah, I mean, like that's a big topic this week too.
Huge.
I was having great conversations with our RWA lead, Boris. Like he does a lot of like very interesting integrations and like how you're actually going to use technology and like
how do I meet RWA Boris, Nill? I got to talk to Boris.
Oh, you're already lined up to talk to him at consensus. Don't worry.
Can we call him RWA Boris?
Yes, you actually can. This dude is so cool. Oh my god.
And real world assets is what we mean here when we say RWA. Yes. We mean connecting the digital things that might represent things in the physical world on a blockchain on the internet. So please keep cooking.
And he was like just talking at dinner about like all these different ideals that he has, and it's more than just like stocks that are tokenized. It's like, how could we imagine a world where we're like abstracting away the broker? Right, abstracting, like it's almost incomprehensible for some people that don't understand like the goals here overall. So it's like when he talks about these things, it's just like I don't care that like you have to be reasonable when you stemming back to like the decentralization conversation. You have to be reasonable with these things, right? You have to say, okay, the world's here, we need to go here to make sure that it kind of meets us halfway. Like, but at the same time, Boris was like kind of like F all that. Like, imagine if everything was abstracted away. Like, and I was pounding my chest at dinner. You know what I mean? I was like, hell yes. Like, this is what it's about. Like, if we shoot for those ideals, though, right, and the Web3 evolution happens as it is, it'll be so user-focused that we at least meet somewhere where it is acceptable and more frictionless. And you'll feel like you are actually enjoying your time in the internet rather than struggling through it, which is what we do now, right? All the payment processors, all the freaking like things are in the way, all the friction points of ads and why they're like just so targeted, and then we get this huge biased opinion of what we want to buy. It's just like it's all built into this world where you can just operate more freely, and it might be a little bit frictionful now, but just fucking wait. Like when we get it right, and we're working, we're gonna get it right. Like I'm so confident it's gonna be a beautiful place to operate. I'm confident in that.
We have another really good follow-up question, which is, will Web3 take jobs away? And the answer is absolutely yes. But also, it will create other jobs. And I deeply believe they are the kind of, the jobs you're going to lose are the kind of jobs that David Graeber, one of my guys, would refer to as bullshit jobs. Being a telemarketer to call somebody and bother them and sell them a product that they really don't need. Those kind of jobs may still exist, but they'll probably be done by computers to do it better than you. And you will be free to do uniquely human things and whatever mostly you want to do. I mean, you know, who cares who you are or what you love? I think we can all agree that whether you are somebody who's called a plumber or you're Lin-Manuel Miranda and you've got to write the next great American musical, that the best use of your time is doing those things that only you can do or want to do, or finding out what that is, or, you know, just being around the people who need you, filling needs in your community. Like that's the goal.
Let me
not robot everything.
Let me take just a gigantic rip off the hopium bong with that one, because listen,
shit hits nice, dude.
Dude, right? No, it really does. It's some smooth shit.
Yeah, it's the hopium is the
Hey man, the future looks better when you're looking at it through rose-colored glasses.
hell yeah.
That's why Evan's wearing them. Listen, I think I agree with you, Evan. Like, you know, would some jobs, you know, cease to be purposeful, you know, in a world where this is bigger? I believe so, but honestly, I wouldn't even think about those, because in that world, you get led astray so hardcore into thinking that some of the things that you're really into or passionate about or whatever couldn't be a career because there's not enough money in it to make it worthwhile. Like you hear about this all the time. And listen, I'm speaking from hardcore personal experience. I was an art major for a while. Okay. I know a lot of art majors.
God bless.
And I have to say that one of the most successful people that I know he was the first of my friends to build and launch his own business and scale it and need to hire somebody, was the art major. He's a designer. And, you know, we were art majors together in art history 101 together. That kind of, I mean, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've run into somebody who had a dream that they were not pursuing because there wasn't enough money in it. I got picked up by a tow truck driver one time who had this shotgun in the back of his window, and the wood stock was gorgeous. It was this hand carved, just masterpiece. And I asked him about it, and he said that he did it himself and he has tons of them at home. And I was like, do you sell these things? And he was like, no, you know, I whatever, I wanted to, but you know, it's too late for me, whatever. He was older, and he just told me this heartbreaking story about being told by his father that, you know, art was he used some expletives that I won't say, but art was for people who he didn't care for. And, you know, it was lame and it was not worth pursuing, and, you know, go do something, you know, more meaningful with your life or something like that. This dude could have, I mean, dude, this shit would have killed on TikTok is all I'm saying. Okay. They were gorgeous. But I think that's the kind of stuff that Web3 can bring back, because you just get so much of your money taken away by, you know, it being filtered into the ether of 14,000 middlemen that need to be involved in everything you do, that all take a piece of it until there's nothing left for you. And that's fucking bullshit. So, you know, that's, I mean, bullshit. That's why are NFTs so cool? That's one of the reasons, because you can force the artist to profit from something that people have desire for, you know, regardless of how many middlemen want to be involved in it. I mean, that's the kind of shit that it just, I think that's cool as hell.
Nick Johnson hitting the hopium bong also in the audience says the purpose of Web3 in this world is to be yourself and create your own vision, man.
Dude, amen.
Just create your own vision, brother. If you are here with us creating your own vision, let me know. Leave us a comment. Let us know what your vision for Web3 is. Let us know what questions you have about the new internet, about cryptocurrency, blockchains, AI. We want to do a better job to tell more of a story about the AI tools that are emerging. We've got a couple of interviews coming up. Our friend Tiffany Cianci has just come on to a position at the Open Source AI Foundation and has hooked us up with a lot of great connections there who can speak cogently about the future of artificial intelligence. And their whole thing is that it should be open source, because otherwise the incentive is for the people who own the AI to monopolize it and use it to get your data. I mean, it's a whole wild rabbit hole. That's an important part of this conversation that we want you to feel part of. So let us know. And Nill, as our honored guest, I would defer to you to say, is there anything else on your brain, man, that you want to share or that we can shed light on or that you wanted to open up for conversation?
Yeah, I got like 5 more minutes. There's more meetings to be had.
Oh my God. Well, in that case, compose yourself and give us some really good alpha and a final thought before you ride your dog and pony off into the sunset, man.
Oh, man, I know, right? I feel bad leaving this soon, but it was fantastic to hop on. And I know, I appreciate you all. You know that so much. But there are things that are being built that I think are going to blow some people away. And like, I am on the edge of being able to drop a lot of alpha, but we're not able to yet.
The edge of alpha. That's your new album, dude.
It's crazy. Yes, right. This is like the soon wait for it move in the NFC world. But like at the same time, like I feel like I can't even say anything because I'm crossing over what I can say and what I can't right now. So all I will say, yeah, exactly. I'm all over the board. But all I will say is, I just appreciate like my last thoughts are I appreciate this community. Like it is such a unique approach to the way you can connect with people via this app, like in this value-based structure, right? And it's just like I feel like everybody that stays in these lives and they commit to the conversation, right? They have questions. They're just minds that want to dive in, inquisitive minds, right? It's just a very unique people out here. So I just appreciate like what's being built here from that perspective. And I'm ready to play my part, right? I think everyone knows I've been out here doing my work a little bit. So started live streaming in February, like throwing up a couple of videos every day, but now it's just like something that I truly care about. And I think overall, I'm really excited for like the opportunity to continue to spread my message, what our team does as a work, but also make sure that we provide value to our people. It's plainly all I care about. Like that's what it comes down to is if all these people get smarter, and we get smart along with them, right? If all of us band together and like push this thing forward, like how wild would it be, right? If we like actually accomplish this overarching goal. So that's my like closing thought. Just came off the top of my dome. I'm just feeling very, very optimistic over where we're at and thankful overall. So I just want to say it.
Hey man, it earns a hell yeah and a rise up from me, man. Rise up. That's big, man. Big Nill Collect. You know him as Nill. Follow him, like him, really like him. He is a friend and a teacher on the journey. Thank you for being a friend of the show, man. And hey, I have to tell you before you get off, you have officially risen to first place in the rankings for the show today with 5 points. So there's a chance that you could win the show today, in which case you might get a fabulous prize in the mail from us.
Would love it.
Look out for that.
I got mail coming your all's way too. So that's we'll just exchange mail. Oh man, yeah. Like can we get the meme up live of Scheming Rat right now? Like we're in a good place, man. So
yes,
that's the
I have to find it.
Feel free to talk.
Oh, okay.
Listen, like we're hanging out, we're doing our thing. You know, we have big plans for how we interact with this app. There's our alpha. We have big plans with the way that my organization interacts with this app, and we're going to do exciting things.
That sounds so James Bond.
I
we appreciate
trying
you,
to
man.
code it.
We
Thank
appreciate
you,
you, man.
appreciate
And say hi to everybody over there from us. We look forward to seeing you when we see you on the stream again. Safe travels back home and all that, man. We'll catch
Appreciate
you on the
all,
internet, brother.
always. See you soon.
Much love.
It's the perfect time to buy.
It was the wrong sound. I just wanted to hit it.
Dude, can I just say it was a real inside moment. I'm gonna I gotta get it on this other laptop.
I was waiting for a little screen share. What is it? Like a meme I don't know about?
No, I've sent
like
it to
every
you.
meme.
You've seen it before, yeah, like every meme. No, it's I think this is either from I don't want to rug whoever sent this to me originally. I did not find this originally, but I have stolen it and used it, and I sent it to Nill. I texted it to him a while ago. I use it as like a reaction to text when people send me funny things.
Alex has some really, really good little reaction stickers, I have to tell you. I'll get it up with the screen share.
Okay, thank you.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I have to say, if they take away this app, Aaliyah said in the comments, if they take away this app, I am taking to the streets and I plan to be obnoxious. Oh my gosh.
And of course we're just constantly getting yo-yoed around with our emotions for this one. But all right, let me find this thing. How am I gonna get it on this freaking laptop? It's sitting on my. You know what? I got it.
While Alex does that, I want to invite everybody who's listening in the future on the podcast, or if you're listening to the recording, this is your time to take a pause and let us know what you think about the show. Better yet, like us, really like us, and send us a review on your favorite podcast app. You can help the show totally for free because now we've got the workflow. Administratively challenged as I am, all of our streams become podcasts the very same day. So if you don't want to pull all the data or you can't tune in, you can listen on your phone. We want to do it because we want to reach more people. We want to make the show easier to share, more valuable, more helpful. We want to make it a better place where experts like Nill and George and Sam and even the folks who show up to comment here but would do it there can show up. So I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Connect with us. Let us know what we could do better. Let us know what we could do more of, less of. Somebody told me less sound effects, and I said...
This is a gross misrepresentation of
But
facts.
okay, I get it. And connect with us. We're at theriseuppmorningshow.com, and we are at discord.gg/riseup. It's where the show lives 24/7. And I will say, this is the last part of my commercial. I promise I'm stalling for Alex and for your questions. Always got to give the disclaimer that wherever you are listening to this show, these are our only profiles. On TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, LinkedIn, we've only got one profile. Discord, we've only got one profile, but there are many people who will reach out to you directly, pretending to be us, to leverage the trust that we have built to try and take your money. Do not listen to them. They are not your teachers. Just block them and ignore them. That's the best thing to do. We will never directly message you first for any reason, especially not to sell you Bitcoin or, oh my God, to send you. What is this?
Dude.
Alex.
It's
Listen.
Okay.
What
I
is
sent
this?
It's the scheming rat.
I do see that he's scheming.
Nill had texted me something that was great. It was something alluding to all of these hints that we all keep dropping about Polygon's entrance to the TikTok space and all these fun little things that I'm going to keep hinting about. And I just sent him this rat in return, and then he sent it back to me like a week or two later, and I was like, yes, it's the scheming rat has come full circle. Dude. This is how I feel pretty much all the time when I.
It's how you look right now when you do that. I hope somebody got a screenshot of you going like this while the rat was next to you going like that.
I'm obsessed with this thing. It's excellent.
It's problematic. Okay, so we've got confirmation of Paul Atkins to the SEC. I'm curious to know what Bitcoin did, if anything, in reaction to that. Alex, could you possibly pull it up on the Gecko?
Yep.
Just because I want to see, and I'm going to do a little scroll through. Also, we got a question. What is the hype that an Arculus wallet is no longer safe? Fact check yourself, brother. We can get a fact check on that while Alex pulls up Bitcoin. I will say there has been a lot of FUD over the years about many different types of cold wallets. Mm-hmm. And there have been one or two like reputable compromises at scale that are noteworthy, but no like system-wide hacks, outages, data breaches of a cold storage wallet that are substantiated. The biggest one that always comes to mind for me is the Ledger thing.
Was there a specific something that happened about it, or because
I don't know? I'm going to Twitter and I'm looking. Let us know in the comments. That question came from Linda, not your Linda, but Linda Warren, and I'd like to see. The first tweet I see is from the official Arculus account, and it looks like they're not saying anything about any kind of hack. So,
yeah, haven't seen anything specifically. There's no wait, Evan, is Nick serious? You don't know who Daniel Tosh is?
Oh, he just said Tosh. I didn't know if he meant Daniel Tosh or if he meant Tosh. Like, no. there's Toshis in Web3, not just Satoshi. Yeah, Tosh, like Daniel Tosh.
Yeah,
send him my number. Tell him to call me.
Yeah, that would be great.
And while we're at it, let's get Rob Dyrdek on the show too. And also Big, because, we could have a best friend vibe with them, I feel like.
Probably.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
But
yeah, I can't find anything about Arculus. What do you got on Bitcoin? Are we up? Is it time to retire?
We rocketed and now we're kind of flat. So I'm,
and that was
I'm not really one for TA. I mean, me looking at this chart is as involved with charts.
Oh no, Alex, that's the camel's hump pattern. When you get an appearance like that on a 24-hour chart, see that's his neck on the left side. He's dipping to drink some water. And what we're waiting for is to see if it dips below back to 80K, then there's a chance it'll form the single hump camel and just go down to like 60. or it could form the double hump camel and like go back up. And usually if it forms the double hump, the second hump is bigger than the first hump. I heard that from a guy on the internet.
That was
on,
so
TikTok.
much nonsense. It's not even funny.
I heard it on a live stream on TikTok, so I think it's probably true.
Yeah, fair enough. I've heard enough.
Fired.
All I can tell from this chart is that it's either going to go up, down, or stay about the same. And that's as good as it's going to get until Will comes back. So I'm very sorry.
I'm looking for more of, let's see, more about this Arculus. Don't see it. I don't see it. I was on TikTok and this gentleman was saying that these cold storage wallets are not good, that you need quantum. Oh, we got to address this. The comments have already gotten on this, but hey, Alex, have you seen this or heard about this quantum financial system or a quantum ledger? Have you seen these comments that say Ledger is not safe, Arculus is not safe, Trezor is not safe, you need to update to the quantum financial system?
Okay, so this is the newest tactic in shilling QFS, which is
it's
a
not
scam.
new, but it's using the word quantum to drag people into a DM.
Yeah,
you want to tell people how this goes?
Yeah, Evan,
Dad?
Evan, yeah, listen, guys.
Dad found out you were playing with the quantum financial wallet, and he is not happy.
Yeah, your teacher called and told me today that you're talking to other kids about QFS, and I'm really disappointed in you.
I'm grumping myself, Dad. It hurts.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, don't you dare gwump me for that. That's bullshit. I get it. That's a ding if I've ever heard one. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, Dad. Okay. She did. I did. I saw it, Dad, but I didn't look at it. What's wrong with it?
No, it's just, and I will say, Evan, you've made at least one like long form, very thorough video about this particular scam. This is not a new scam, but there are constantly, new tactics being dropped to pull people into this. It is just one of those nonsense platforms where people are going to scare you into depositing money into a platform that you do not have any control over. The second you put anything there, it's gone forever. There may be a dashboard that you get to look at that you can monitor, your crypto or rest assured, it's gone. Honestly, the best way to navigate this one, like I always try to think, okay, what's the easiest way just to make sure you never fall for this? If anyone reaches out to you or leaves you a comment or talks to you in a live stream chat about quantum, they are trying to scam you. Or at best, they are criminally underinformed. This is not something that you want to mess with. It is just a method to steal your money.
I actually want to call one of these out that I see notoriously. I don't know who Lori Reports is. I've never met Lori Reports. Never seen
of her impersonators shilling QFS in my comments every day.
Yeah, and this Lori Reports may very well be a legitimate person. I understand she gives daily XRP updates, the real Lori Reports, but I often see, I'm trying to find, I can't even find out if the real Lori Reports gives helpful information or if she only gives misinformation. And I want you to know that there are some people in this space who will capitalize on misinformation, and at best, they themselves are misinformed and are convinced that they are right. This is what the handle often looks like. Let me know if you actually know this person, because I'd really legitimately like to see their content, Lori Reports, in order to get a sense of it, because I see a million scammers who target people in her audience, I suspect, because she talks about a quantum financial system. There's a lot of that stuff going around, XRP, XLM communities, even the Monero community. I have seen that kind of thing targeting. It doesn't go as deep in Monero. There's some tight people, but I feel like there are a lot more, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way. There are a lot more everyday people in XRP and XLM because they're like cryptos for the people. They've done a really good job of onboarding everyday people. Working parents, people who are real, not just techies and investors. Monero is honestly a bunch of nerds who are super into cybersecurity and deeply skeptical and deeply internet.
I will tell you right now, some of the coolest conversations I've had are with Monero maxis. Okay,
absolutely.
Those guys don't fuck around.
No, they really don't. And again, that's not meant to despair. I just mean to say it's unfortunate that a lot of the people in those other communities have been targeted with misinformation, but I see it a lot from an account that looks like this, and it tells me that just the general literacy among that population is is not as strong. So I really want you guys, if you see that, to look out for it, because we all are telling a story with everything we say, everything we amplify, everything we ignore, and it's up to all of us to tell a better story. And that's one way you can do it, is by spreading literacy around that, just letting people know that, hey, that's not the quantum financial system. It's a long running conspiracy theory that has come up again and again and again with many soothsayers and snake oil salesmen, and it's
and seeing Alina and a couple others confirming that unfortunately she is a real human being that just posts content and has been cloned excessively. I can relate. That shit sucks. I mean, people love creating impersonator accounts of content creators doing their best, and through one way or another, usually pig butchering. And QFS is a variation of a pig butchering scam, where there is some sort of a platform that you're getting. Dude, you see this one thing? You see it? Okay.
You're a little wispy.
No, this one little. There we go. She gone. But yeah, QFS is a scam. Is the bumper sticker? It's bullshit. It's not real. One of the people that is on my short list to bring on the show and have just like an unbelievably hyper technical conversation that I will learn so much from. Like, this is a selfish ask for sure. Is someone who I've come to know lightly through TikTok, who has a PhD in quantum physics and builds quantum computers for a living and experiments with them, tests with them, is a researcher. She has created content about quantum interacting with Bitcoin. That is the kind of person that you can like learn from about quantum computing and the risks that quantum poses to cryptocurrency. And she will tell you one of the things that I have said many, many times, which is when quantum computing gets to the point where it can snap its fingers and crack Bitcoin, we have way bigger problems than Bitcoin, because most people's entire life savings are hiding on their phone. The access to these life savings are hiding on their phone behind a 4-digit PIN code. And that is a little bit less secure than Bitcoin's encryption. So
yeah, exactly.
This is a gross misrepresentation.
Oh, sorry, I meant to give you it's the same button, different panel. What's Christina talking about? Is she talking about your little wispy?
Oh, I don't know.
Speaking of Christina, Alex's better and friendlier half. That's not true. I love you, man.
Well, I don't know
I
about
have a lot of fun with you. She had a killer idea, and we were talking on the phone today doing show prep. And I just want to let the audience into this because I want to hear what you guys think about it. We were on the phone, and Alex was like, Christine was suggesting that we do a show where we all get together and talk about crypto. All the loves of Rise Up, Christina and Kimberly and Violet, and we can just see how well we've done in our jobs, or publicly fall on our faces that the people who live with and love us do or don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Not to put them on the spot, but just to really get that feedback. Like you were saying, it's so important to talk to people, and there's such good examples. Kim all the time is, she knows more about this 99% of people, but also she's like not going to stand in the bat and be like, here's what an NFT is, although she has done it,
There's a couple things that I love about the idea. One, it forces, anyone who is a teacher to face a potential miss that they've ever had, and, either explain something in a different way or whatever. So you as an instructor will level up 100%, guaranteed.
Or I'll lose my career.
or you'll get fired. It's, hey, you know what? Roll the dice, right? But two, equally as important, I trust Kim explicitly to troll you without you knowing that it's coming at least once or twice, and they're going to be hilarious.
It's a trap. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? But here's the thing. People are going to see Christina and Kimberly and Violet, and they're going to be like, well, how come these guys don't make the content? Why are we watching them? We should be watching them.
I know. Actually, now that we work through this, maybe this isn't good for
maybe this is the arc. This is finally how we get them to really start making content in a way that takes off, and you guys won't be watching us anymore. It was nice while it lasted. They're brilliant, and they do so much, and they've agreed to come on the air. So stay tuned for that. We don't know about Violet yet. I don't think we made the ask of Violet. So
no,
Will, if you're watching, it's coming.
Violet and Will strike me as two people who would probably be into this idea.
I hope so. I sure hope so, because I think that would be a lot of fun. We'd love to bring that show to you sometime in the not too distant future. And if there's something else you want to see from us, let us know. I got to get caught up in the questions here in the comments, Alex, because it's almost that time. To take
I was going to say,
dogs.
just to bring this one home. We've been, I mean, I'm not ashamed to say, killing it with guests lately. I've loved getting to talk to as many people as we have. We are running into the good problem, which is running out of space on the calendar, which I am excited to get to that point. And Amy is one of those people who I definitely want to get back, because that woman is always working on something.
That woman is working.
Oh my God, she has so many cool things that are going on. Went through the Soulflare rebrand, which we haven't gotten to talk about, because I've it's had some controversy around it, and then doing some stuff with Kraken. I saw today that Kraken, I found this out from Amy. So Amy, shout out, you're killing it. That Kraken has like Kraken Plus, which is, I think, their answer to Coinbase Premium, and it's the same kind of thing, right? Like no trading fees on the platform. Not sponsored by Kraken. Dude, it's exponentially cheaper than Coinbase's, and there's no way that like Inc plus Kraken Plus is not just like you're just sticking on. And I've been saying, like, Coinbase has been in a little bit of hot water lately with some account problems, bad customer service, all this kind of stuff. And who's been there the whole time, just being like scheming rat?
Hey there, normies.
Kraken is wasting no time, and the intern is working overtime. So
yeah, shout out Kraken.
Yeah.
Real quick, for the people who are, again, my apologies to everybody on the podcast. This is your pitch to come on the live show, because between us, Alex and I have about 20 dogs. Mostly he has about 20 dogs. But every now and then you might get to see a beautiful dog on the live stream. This is Lucy, who's popping up. I don't know if you saw the comments. They were like, there's a dog. And then she laid down. And so they said the dog went away, and I pet her on the back so she'd sit up. And they said, the dog is back. If you came for the crypto, stay for the dogs, and then get to know us, because we love building community with you, introducing you to the people we know who are working here, like Amy, like tomorrow's guest, sort of a last-minute guest, but you know him, you love him from TikTok, where he's teaching crypto to his grandma. It's our friend Hemu Rahman from Osmosis, head of product over there, and quite a teacher. He's an awesome content creator. I've really enjoyed learning from him.
Can I just, so there are a couple content creators that just instantly crush it, and who have the most aesthetically pleasing just setup, and I almost get angry when I see them, because like Taylor Mitchell was the first person who just gave me setup envy, because everything was just so clean, and her setup was just, it was so great. He's another one. He just like waltzed in here and started immediately crushing it. And like, I mean, the whole setup with, he's making his matcha every morning and giving me the update. And I learn something every time. I love listening to it. He's great. I'm very excited to host him.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a really good episode for people who want to just break things down to basics. I came to crypto, but I think he's a great teacher. He makes the complex clear, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I would invite everybody to take a look, if you're new here, at the Rise Up Morning Show back catalog, the Rise Up After Dark back catalog. We've got great episodes with people who are building the future, and we would really love to get you connected with the conversation. If you're somebody who wants to build, if you want to learn, if you just want to know, hey man, what am I supposed to buy? You're in the right place. We're not going to tell you what you're supposed to buy, but I promise you, if you just hang out with the people in these comments, the people in the Rise Up Discord, if you take a class or two, or just show up and spend a couple minutes here in any community where people are using crypto, they're not going to make you feel stupid for asking a question. That is how we say, rise up. That's what it's all about. Alex, as we get ready to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset, I'm going to ask you for a final thought. But first, my friend, I am going to give the point totals for the evening, our little show. And I forgot to give myself a ding for something I said. Somebody was like, Evan, you better preach. So I'm going to give myself a ding for that, because a last minute points too for Lucy, because she's beautiful. And last minute points for...
What is this?
This is last minute points, man. This is like when Dumbledore stands up at the end of the year in Harry Potter and he gives 10 points to Griffin. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing, okay?
Okay, wait, first of all, the voice is excellent. And second of all, I totally forgot how hardcore Dumbledore rigged the House Cup every single year.
Much. That's where I draw my inspiration from, man. You just know he relished in that soundboard. That's what it was. It was just a big soundboard game. It was a rigged game.
No, it really
and he was pulling the strings. Okay.
Fair point.
So here are the point totals. Bringing up the rear with 1 gwump. Sorry, China. Honestly, sincerely, to our friends in China, like, we are so sorry for like how this stuff is going. Tariffs, China, whatever. Terrible, terrible situation. Believe me. We're hoping for resolution soon. 1 point to Lucy, 1 point to Amy, and 1 point among 3 women, the loves of our lives, the Rise Up wives. And Cosmic Crypto, congratulations, 2 points. In a tie for 3rd place. Actually, this is a tie. This is a tie for 2nd place. We had a 3-way tie for 2nd place. Oh my God. It is me, George, and Sam from Uptrade with 4 points each. Congratulations, guys. That means our winners for this week, I really think they rigged this game against me, are Alex and Nill from Rise Up and Polygon. Alex is wearing the Polygon shirt. I think you guys collaborated on this. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Just a tiny bit. He's bull texting me as we speak. He's used the word bullish in 3 different texts to me in the last 15 minutes. So shout out Nill, the most bullish man in crypto.
Congratulations to the winners. We need a championship belt, Solom said. He has been in the comments with so many great merch ideas. He suggested a Rise Up lightsaber for you when you go into dark DeFi dad mode.
Dude,
and
yes,
I'm here for that. If we could get lightsabers, like that Rise Up purple color lightsaber would be so cool.
Evan, pop quiz, and no one give him the answer. Who is the only Jedi that carries a purple lightsaber?
Mace Windu.
God, have you seen a movie? When did you? Who showed you a movie? Where'd you see that?
Hey, man.
All right,
it's, the force is with me on this one. It's a trap.
Color me impressed.
Yeah,
well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oof, bring a tear to my eye. Look at you.
Yeah. Okay, my friends, if you've got
You see how much his face lit up when he knew the answer to the movie question that I was going to ask him? He was so excited.
I was so excited. I really was. I was worried you were going to ask me a tough one, but I happened to know. It was one of the only movies I have ever seen and one of the only questions I could answer. So, my friends, if you have a last bit of trivia, a suggestion, a question, a good joke, a word of wisdom, then leave it in the comments wherever you are, whenever you listen, and we will get our dogs and ponies on the road. Alex, to you, my friend, got a final thought?
No, dude, This has been a great week. It makes me happy that in a week when emotions have been so roller coastered with markets, just trying to help. Jeez, dude, this thing is rugging my final thought right here. You know what?
I got you though.
Thank you.
Markets,
just I'm excited at how many amazing guests we've had this week that have helped kind of pull attention away from hyper volatility in all of our portfolios, giving us whiplash, and I'm just excited to close it out with Haymu tomorrow. It's gonna be a good show, and thanks to everyone for hanging out with us all week, and excited to close out the week with all you guys tomorrow.
Me too. I am going to use my final thought to first bring back Lucy the dog for everybody on TikTok due to much demand. She's always a good time, so that's for Lucy for sneaking up as the winner at the end. And let me tell you, we are going to be at Consensus. We mentioned it on stream. Joe reminded me just now in the comments, and I do want to say that if you are going to find yourself in Toronto, we're going to be there May 12th through 16th. And we've got a thread going in the Discord server right now that's the Consensus trip, whatever. Get in there, and if you're thinking about going, the real alpha is find somebody that you can coordinate with, because they've got this plan your visit, buy a ticket thing where you can get 3 tickets for the price of 1. The Pro Pass ticket is like $700 or something, but you can get a ticket for $250 when you get the 3 for 1 price. And the real alpha is, even if you don't want to spend money on a ticket, if you just want to split a cheap Airbnb and go, spending time at a crypto conference, doing this thing in real life, being around that energy that Nill brought to the stream tonight that he's talking about, that's everywhere at conferences like this. And it is a great way, whether you're learning, you're investing, or you want to get more involved in the industry, you should attend a conference. And we're going to have an event there too. I don't have it in front of me, the place, but we're going to publish all the details about it at the Rise Up server. We got to pick a date and set a plan in stone, but we would love to meet some of you there. If you're going to be there, let us know. And also, if you are a crypto company who needs help telling a better story, building bridges of trust to everyday people, come on the show first of all, but you can hire us to come out to the conference with you and speak to your founders or host a stream or just, tell a better story with you. And the studio travel's easy. And we could just get a van, TBD. So
dude, that's one idea that I'm pretty committed to. I'm not going to let that one go.
Dude, the Rums van. Jason, can you get on that, envisioning what the wrap is going to look like for the Rise Up Morning Show van? I'm thinking, like the coffee mug, but bigger pictures of our faces. And
yeah, I want to do
pop
the
out awning,
mobile podcast studio, and then literally go on tour. That would be
That's
awesome.
the plan. And when it happens, we're going to tell you about it first, my friends. So wherever you are, whenever you listen, thank you so much for being the best part of what we do. We're so grateful to get to spend this time with you. And until next time, my friends, everybody stay safe, be well, rise up.